What has happened, everyone? Welcome back. Happy, what is today, Thursday? Yeah, welcome. February 1st. What a January. Everyone like January this year? January turned out pretty well for you. If you were exposed to the Richard Heart ecosystem, that worked out pretty well on this side. I'll say that. Happiness. Lots of happiness ensued. Happiness is transient, though. Of course, it's, a common belief. But boy, we hope it continues. We hope it's a prolonged happy adventure to the moon. Don't need to return to the moon, return from the moon anytime soon. Let's just go to the moon. That'll be good. Anytime. I'm ready. My body's ready. Say hi to the chat. It's gonna be a fun one. This is a solo stream I've been thinking about doing for the last week or two, trying to put together. I think it'd be interesting. What's up, Fox Melder? How's it going? Burberry, MA says Burberry 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I only got one right now. Okay, I only got the original Burberry. 2, 3, and 4 are somewhere else right now. But I got this one by my side. He's been comforting me. He's been telling me he's going to find a bull friend, so we can bask in the glory of Burberry bulls. Hopefully one day. So maybe let me know if you've seen a Burberry bull. I cannot find one, but maybe it's just they haven't caught on to crypto yet. Maybe they'll start making some crypto editions signed. It'd be like a Richard Hart signature edition. That'd be pretty cool. Suplogi, Francia de Jesus, I believe. Jesus, Jesus, one of those. How's it going? The Chad of the Chads. We got the Chad of Wales, the god whale. This might be the god Donnerswans. That's a good way to reference Sir Chad of the chat. How's it going, man? Good to see you. The secret weapons is the big. Don't know where you're going with that, but I hear you. Maybe. Hex Fetty, how's it going? Good to see you. So this show, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be interesting because I talked to, let me we have a constant shout out to our friend, Nuclear Herbs, friend of the community. Awesome guy. And today, congrats, he was followed by Richard Hart. I think Richard started to follow a lot of people. I saw he started following Somi too as well, which I'm like, ooh, he's following Somi. I don't know. Somi, I mean, obviously Somi is amazing and did so many good things for the ecosystem and continues to do so. Like he's awesome. But he does not only talk about Richard Hart stuff. I'll say that. And he said a lot of interesting things. So we'll see. We'll see if Richard has more tolerance as far as that goes. I hope so. I think Somi is. I've talked about Baby Dollar so much. Does such good work for the community. Really happy we have a Somi. I did a tweet the other day. We have a Coffee. We have a Somi. We have a SJ. We got a DCZ, RG3. We got all these amazing creators out there. I tell you, go watch some live streams from other communities. Go watch some live streams. I don't think I'm overestimating us by saying I didn't get a fifth of the value. All they talk about is, I don't know. I'm sure there's some deep dives and some people who do a really good job. But if you search for crypto and you're just looking at, streams that have 50, 100, hundreds of people watching, they're either talking about the news or they're talking about just like some event that happened that's like, does this mean anything? Or they're doing TA and it's just like this, charting show, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's just, you get this sense, you ask them a question or whatever. I mean, some of them ask questions and ask about checks and PulseChain and they either like it or maybe they don't care, they ignore it or whatever. But some of the questions, some of the coins they look at, it's just like, you can just tell the tools they use. They're not nearly, I haven't seen, it's rare when I find anyone super knowledgeable about crypto in other communities that I see live streaming with a huge audience that isn't our community. I'll say it like that. It's pretty amazing getting out of the echo chamber and being like, actually, I think what we got here is pretty good. What's up, Clintrons? Welcome. So anyways, Nuclear Herbs does a lot of amazing. He's our community attorney, former attorney. He did the show with Corey the other day and it turned out great. Really recommend people. I reposted to my channel as well. Recommend people take a look at that. It was super interesting. And I watched that and then I took some notes and stuff because I was like, hey, if you want to come on the show, that'd be great. Here's a bunch of questions after I watched the stream that I could think of that'd be great to discuss. And I don't think Nuclear Herb is, I don't know if he's coming on any other people's show or not, but I think he's going to wait a while, at least on mine. But what he did was he gave me some answers to some of the questions I put in a doc. And I've already, talked to him about this, and he was cool with me sharing, of course, and stuff too. But I was able to ask him some questions, some follow-ups, some different stuff that was talked about on Corey's show. And I'm going to go over some of the answers he had too, as well as talk about what I think is the secret weapon that Richard has. And hopefully it's going to be, if I could just be a fly on the wall in the war room at Richard's one of 369 castles. I bet there's some cool stuff planned that we should have no expectations of. I'll say that. It'd be pretty cool. So anyway, shout out to Nuclear Herbs. I don't know what to leave it on for now. Maybe I'll just leave it up here for now. But yeah, apparently Richard likes what he's putting out, or apparently wants to hear more. So a few things I'll go over. So some of the questions, I'll just kind of talk through, I got some answers to some of the questions, and then I'll try to give some nuance on the conversation as well, and some of the places where the questions came from somewhat too. But anyways, it mentioned nothing interesting happening until at least April. I can't remember some of the dates of some of this core stuff. Chat, if you're briefed and you're following all this stuff, let me know some of the specific things you're interested in, because some of these I'm not even sure about myself. But nothing important happening at least April, and the briefings won't be filed until late August. So that'll be interesting. So we got some April, sounds like April timelines, August time. I know October is that supposed to be like the big meeting between everyone. I don't know if Richard's going to show up as in come to the US or not. I don't know if his lawyers can just do it until a certain point in the process, or if it gets dismissed, of course, then that'd be awesome too. But there are some key dates or key months, I guess, this year. It sounds like, at least, again, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, or if Nuclear Herbs here in the chat, let me know as well. April, August, and October are some of the interesting ones. AAO. So some of the questions, again, that I had in the doc, that it's almost like a written interview. I did a written interview once with Alex Brogan, by the way. Pretty interesting guy. I follow on Twitter for a lot of just mindset stuff, mental models. I invited him on the show one time, and he said he wasn't interested in coming on the show, but he would give me a written interview. So basically, I sent him a bunch of questions, and he did the interview. I actually showed it just for fun. I can show you. I have a blog, so I turned it into a blog post. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. Alex Brogan. I'll drop it in the chat if anyone's interested. He's not in our community or anything, but I think the way he talks about his background, and again, I'm super interested in mental models and first principles thinking and stuff. Pretty interesting. So if you like written interviews, which I'm kind of a nerd for some of this stuff, and learning about inversion and different ways of thinking about it, effective mindsets and stuff. That was pretty cool. My first written interview. So Nuclear Herbs is kind of similar to this. So I was asking, so Richard's legal team, I want to talk about specific cases they handled before, outcomes, Elon Musk relation. I keep hearing things around that. And then he was talking about some of the just more interesting stuff I can from the answers and stuff too. And just trying to find things the attorneys. I think that would be something that would be interesting to come up, and if we were able to popularize and promote and stuff too in the community, is again Richard's Chad legal team, 11 attorneys. I heard something about one of them representing Elon Musk and something, but I think that's kind of cool to talk about. And again, get the normies, again, get the people like, this is like a serious thing. He said for one thing, most cases don't end up in reported decisions. They settle, resolved on motion in state court. A lot of the cases, only the parties know how the case has ended, and it's often subject to a confidential agreement where you can't discuss the outcome. So yeah, we may not be able to relate all the different cases and all the background stuff. So the lawyers may be even better than they seem, honestly. Like it could be, you never know. Again, if you're a billionaire, genius founder guy, I don't know what everyone thought of before. Everyone's talking about, I hope he has a good legal team. It's like, dude, the guy is a billionaire, rumored to be a billionaire. I just think he is. So like, why wouldn't, a smart person with lots of money be able to put together a team that can defend well? I never understood why people like would think is like that's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue that Richard can't afford to be properly represented with the best of the best. So I was like, yeah, I know Richard. He likes the best of pretty much everything. So TBD, I'm sure at some point maybe we'll learn more about his team and otherwise. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'll get to them in just a minute. I'm just going to go through a few of these. By the way, I'm fasting as well. Shout out to anyone who's fasting. I've had some intense hunger in the last little bit, just crossed the day mark, so about 24 hours. Liquid fast, not complete calorie fast, but mostly calorie fast. I'm literally just drinking like broth and stuff, and coffee, of course. Yeah, shout out to me. I'll try to do it for maybe one more day, maybe at least another 18 hours or so. We'll see. Got to get my Vegas shape in. Got to get ready for PulseChain Tour in March. Pretty cool. And just in general, it's good for your health, good for mind, body, spirit, all that stuff, in my opinion. So start asking any similarities between Coinbase and Richard's case. He was talking about the arguments around the Howey test were made in Coinbase, and expect RH to make similar ones. I don't know how much traction they'll get in either, but they have to be presented so you can either set them up for appeal. Secondary sales is a major issue in Coinbase. It might be raised here because SEC points to Uniswap for jurisdiction, and those are entirely secondary sales as well. Yeah, that's going to be, I feel like this whole thing could go away if they just talked about the Uniswap thing just being BS. Like there was no, did they even talk about AA in the entire thing? Like I feel like I'm sure they were either aware or talked about it or whatever. I just wonder how they even try to get this jurisdiction stuff. Like that's the funny thing about that DeFi and the way that, the HEX stuff, HEX was launched and all that stuff was there is no place. There's no place where you go and buy these shares and all that. Like it's so far removed from what an actual, literally the only thing in this entire this is what's so stupid about it. The only thing you could even point to in the entire distribution model that is not just specific to HEX and PulseChain, all this stuff. There's probably so many other projects to do this. There is no investment contract. There is no agreement to do work for you. There is explicit non-agreement in verbally non-agreement to not do anything like that for a lot of projects, and specifically Richard. I posted a video of him saying it like 50 times the other day of like no expectation, all this stuff. The only thing people ever point to is, well, of course, wink, wink, there's expectations. At a technical level, that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. You cannot hold what people think they want out of something as the distributor or creator founder actually telling them they're going to have that. You cannot hold that. Like that is a whole, slippery slope, can of worms, like whatever you want to call it. That's just ridiculous to me. So if nothing else, like there is no jurisdiction for this stuff in reality. There is no Uniswap sale. There is no, just because people traded on there, there's liquidity on there or whatever it is, it's just ridiculous. So what does it mean if Coinbase wins? Can it help set new case law? And then, so nothing in Coinbase will be a binding precedent unless it gets appealed to the Second Circuit and they issue an opinion. Very unlikely to happen during the time RH's case is active. So that's interesting to note as well. And then I asked, so if RH wins, what kind of new case law does it set? None. Again, it won't be a precedent. It won't be a binding precedent unless it gets appealed. Second Circuit issues an opinion. So very, very important note. Yeah. So, unless you're an attorney or a lawyer, otherwise probably would never even think about that, right? Like it's not, you can't just have a decision by a judge and then it becomes case law. Apparently it needs to get appealed. Another court needs to look at it and they need to actually issue an opinion, and which makes sense. There needs to be layers before. It distributes the power a little bit in these decisions, makes it harder to create new laws and otherwise. Break just for a second. You guys get to hear me talk a lot today. Always fun for me. Let's see. What might a settlement look like if RH settles? No possible way to even guess at this other than say that it would almost certainly involve money moving from RH to the SEC. Otherwise, the SEC has no reason to settle anything. They really don't care if they lose on a deposition or on a dispositive motion or at trial. It's not their money they're spending. Yeah, interesting point there too. So yeah, what I got from that was, okay, if there is a settlement, it'll probably be money related, but they're the government, right? Like they're not eating into the pocketbook. You know, the taxpayers are funding all this crap. Funny enough, so I don't know, unless there's some other reason to do it, unless they get political pressure. I guess I'm just speculating, thinking off the top of my head. Unless it's advantageous for them to do that, or they just don't have the resources and they start getting tied up and they need to focus on. I don't know. I guess if you have years and years and years and unlimited money, you don't tend to be very efficient. So unfortunately, that doesn't work in favor of people. Oh, what's up, Nuclear Herbs? He is here. Sweet, man. I'm glad you could stop by. Not worried at all about the team. It's solid. Awesome. That was on the talking about the attorneys. District court opinions are often talked about. District courts are not binding. Okay, nice. Yes, thank you for the commentary. I told him, I'm like, what's up, Spike? I told him I was going to be streaming today. If he wanted to stop by, no pressure. If you want to give some commentary, so awesome, man. April 8th briefing will be a 12B motion. We will look that up. I don't know if you, again, I don't want to ask you for too much, so man, but I'll just put up here 12B motion. So, motion to dismiss. That's what I mean. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know if I didn't get that right, but okay. Back to reading through this. And then I was talking about I was trying to think of different scenarios if RH loses or otherwise. No way to even guess at this even. Gosh, sorry. No way to even guess at this given the unknown variables now. We'll have to see what issues get whittled down over time to start speculating. So interesting point there is, I wonder if there'll be more cases, crypto related, SEC related or otherwise, that again, new case law or just new things that come out that would help or harm the case, that sort of thing. So not only are we waiting on the timeline of this case to finish, but also, yeah, be interesting to keep your eye out for other cases that get settled or otherwise, or have notable events happen that could otherwise inform of what may happen with this, again, for or against. With the 40 or 50K, so really quick, let me plug pulsepetition.org. I don't know how many hostage videos I have to make before you all sign this thing. That was amazing. The one that I did the first one, which was the original, I guess, quote, hostage video. And oh man, I forget his name, but he did the parody of it. It's pretty funny. And then went out to the HEX event and shot a few more videos with some local Hexicans and posted those. So there's more videos too with Bets and Crypto and Steve and all that fun. So we got 43,901. I'm going to put this in the chat. Is a secret weapon delay gratification? Well, incognito. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It takes a long time for people to understand that, but that is a secret weapon that shouldn't be too secret, but that's not exactly the one I'll be talking about though. But the thumbnail will give you hints of what I'll be talking about a little bit once we get into it. Yes, 12B motion is perfect. Thank you, Nuclear Herbs. So if you haven't signed this yet, if you feel inclined to help out the calls and crypto, if we get up to 50K, it seems like, I mean, I don't know what the magic number is. I don't know when people are going to submit it or otherwise, but BitBoy is like, we get it to 50K by the end of the week. It should be doable. But also, he quit crypto today or yesterday, or he didn't quit crypto. He quit doing the live show. Yeah, you got to read it carefully. He said the video is called like, I'm quitting. Man, how do you say it? I'm quitting crypto YouTube. So it doesn't mean he's going to stop making videos or working on crypto calls or otherwise. He just can't afford to do the show or something. There's just too much going on. I don't know what it was, but anyways, hopefully, maybe he'll tweet about it some more, or otherwise help us to get to 50K. That'd be awesome. So will the 40, 50K amicus briefs help RH? Certainly can't hurt. No way to tell if or how much it'll help. But if you play poker, it's basically a free roll. Unless there's, in my opinion, unless there's something included that ends up contradicting something RH is arguing, seems unlikely, but still. Yeah, so something included ends up contradicting. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, why not? I like the free roll analogy. That's right. Like, why? It can't hurt. It doesn't cost anything to do it as far as that goes, assuming not a worst case scenario, assuming no imaginary horrible. So awesome. So I think people point to XRP case that had however many thousand signatures and stuff too, and the judge considering that. And I hope our judge is a good and fair judge that can see the overregulation of crypto in general, especially our case. What I can tell, yeah, can we get the Coinbase judge? They seemed very nice and very polite to crypto. What can the community do in particular until October to help it would actually have a good chance of being effective? So press for digital asset legislation. It's a big ask in election year, but Senator Loomis is the person to talk to. Also mentioned on stream, we should be asking her to file a similar amicus brief in RH's case as she did in Coinbase, since she addressed SEC authority. The issue she addressed SEC authority is the same. So let's look up Senator Loomis. Awesome. So awesome. She likes, looks like she's involved in gun rights and stuff too. Cool. And then, I mean, you don't have to agree with any other politics if you just want her to help in this too. Digital asset legislation. I'll just type this in. Yeah, everyone's waiting for it. They're always waiting for the new crypto legislation. Otherwise, we're going to get it this year or not. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, we need it before we get the bull run." I don't know about that. I never. Now that I see what's we've been doing now, I'm not sure if we need the legislation. Will it hurt? If it's good legislation, will it hurt? I don't know. If it's good legislation, I'm not sure if I could harm or pulse or go up. But yeah. Anyways, Senator Loomis, content here. Optimistic about stablecoin legislation. Yeah, that would be interesting if we got some. If the cycle plays out, 2024, 2025, maybe we do. Maybe it is a good year for that. Hopefully get something that, again, just makes companies act more responsibly and doesn't harm investors. That's what I would like to see. Put some rules in for companies or whatever. It doesn't take away any of my freedom. I think that's the best I could think of. I was asking about, is there anything you'd like to see RH do or otherwise that would benefit or not benefit stuff? Yeah, he just basically talked about, RH is smart enough to discuss any potentially controversial actions with his counsel and abide by the recommendations. I certainly agree with that. I was asking about, are there any moves between now and October that you would think could improve the posture or otherwise RH's team's position? And interesting, in this respond, it didn't have, he's not the right person to ask on this, he mentioned, but one thing of note is assume that's why he's got some former SEC guys on the team, because they've seen and done more types of these cases. That's going to be interesting too. So yeah, I think if you're putting together a team to go to defend yourself against their former employer, you would think they know them pretty well. They know kind of their playbook and otherwise. And you get 11 of them. So pretty sure they're all competent. RH is competent. I have no worries about this case, honestly. I've kind of, a lot of people in the community talked about, kind of forgotten about it. It's irrelevant now that RH, apparently the big worry was he just wasn't going to respond, and this was just going to hang over us forever. And I never thought that. I thought he would respond when the time was right, when ready, right? Oh, everyone assumes. It's like this natural instinct to assume the worst. It's like, again, do I just know or believe in his mission so much that this stuff just doesn't shake me? Do I like the price to go down? No. But do I believe he's just going to like run away and be on the run? He's going to be a fugitive. Can you even be a fugitive if the DOJ isn't pursuing you? That kind of thing? I don't think so. He's just not going to appear, so they can't sue him or whatever, you know? Didn't make any sense. Why would Richard do that? Does completely against his MO. Nobody wants glory does that. So I never bought that in the first place. All the people doubting that kind of stuff. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know. That just never made sense to me. And we saw what happened. He's like, I'm back and I'm gonna fight this thing hard, and I have a good chance at winning. So market responded to that pretty well, seems like, as well. At least the feelings did. So I was asking about what are the strongest arguments by RH so far, and you think think are unlikely to be ignored, and believe giving us the best chance of beating the SEC. And he mentioned, I do like the 12 B2 minimum contacts personal jurisdiction argument. I think that it has teeth. I don't know that any other issue would actually end the case at this stage, but that one would. Whoa, okay. I feel like I should, let's see. I do not have, one second, let me pull this thing up so I can actually show you all that. Kind of forgot to do that. Let's see. What is this on? It's on court. Let's see. I can probably just Google it. Yeah, let me just Google it real quick. So this is Richard Hart motion. I assume it's on Google somewhere. Dismiss. Sorry, I don't have this handy. Maybe one of these articles put it in. Are the news articles getting any better, by the way? Here we go. Quotes. Oh gosh. Is there actually a link to this? So there's only 4 pages. Where's 12? Nuclear, if you're still there, help me out for a sec. Let's see. I've got to search for this case thing. Top of page number. Okay, thank you. Top of the page there. Personal jurisdiction issue. So this is page 1. Personal jurisdiction. Or is on the, yeah, I was thinking, I was like, it's page 1. I don't think they're talking about that, but so personal jurisdiction. Perfect. Okay. The complaint fails to establish personal jurisdiction. It was not properly served. The court should dismiss the complaint under Rule 12b2 because it fails to plead that Mr. Hart, who has not lived in or done business with the United States for well over a decade, has a connection to the United States such that he should be reasonably anticipated. He should reasonably anticipate being hauled into court there. And it references a Volkswagen case, 1980. It pleads no U.S.-based entities, employees, contracts, payment accounts, marketing efforts, or travel. The complaint merely asserts that there was an unspecified number of U.S. residents engaged in transactions and that Mr. Hart discussed the software on social media. that does not approach what is necessary. For example, contacts that the defendant himself create within the form rather than the person who resides there. And it cites another case there. So 2 sites, looks like three or 4 cases cited in this one. Nor are the websites at issue alleged to have conducted registrations, taken user information, processed payments, or expressly aimed themselves at the United States. That is true. Yeah, that's another thing Richard talked about a lot is like, there's a website to sign up. There's no way to process, like all this stuff is easy to avoid having expectations and being a company and stuff if you don't ask people to, sign up for, whatever, like let us do work for you, that kind of thing, right? Court should also dismiss the complaint under Rule 12b-5 because dropping papers at finished police station is not valid service. Yeah, just in case the first one doesn't work, yeah, that one as well. So that is the one that Nuclear Herbs believes has the most legs, which, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these are kind of structured to be the strongest to the weakest. And even the weakest is probably pretty strong. I think that's why I think the last one's about freedom of speech, where it's like, yeah, of course, we want that to win. We want that to be like, this is a free speech issue. But of course, the court's gonna be like, oh no, but we got to do all this stuff. And that's a nice fanciful thing you got there, having your freedom of speech, but really we got to regulate the real world, all that stuff. Even though a lot of us believe in that, it's just been trampled. So many things have been trampled on that it wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't the case to overtake that and make the world more freer. That'd be awesome though. So that's pretty good. Yeah. I think like the SEC not even being able to even touch this because not even in the United States, no employees. It's not a company. It's like the more I read this, it's like stuff I already know. It's just put into formal language and sided with previous things that make more sense. It's like, yeah, of course that makes sense. Of course, there's legs behind this. Let's see. Paul asks, Nuclear Herbs, does RH have a better than 10% chance of getting this dismissed? NH answers, if I could accurately predict things, I'd choose lottery numbers. But in general, motions to dismiss are granted around 5 to 10% of the time. It's going to depend on what the SEC alleges are min contacts. That is a very succinct answer and makes sense for sure. I'll put this in the chat in case you guys want to read. Sorry, I don't have the full motion somewhere. Somebody wants to reference that or otherwise link it, I can put it in here. But I know Nuclear Herbs is not a mod, I don't think yet. So let me mod him just in case he wants to share anything. Nope, no pressure. In case. Nuclear, you have been knighted, sir. Well deserved as well. Okay. So that is the one that, one of the strongest arguments. Hopefully the one that has the most legs. And I imagine that that's why it was chosen to go first. So the judge would be like, yeah, I don't need to read the rest of this. These guys are out of line. Boom. HEX, go be free and do the greatest run up the world has ever seen. That'd be cool. That would be cool. And again, you guys have any questions? I'll get back to chat in just a minute. I want to finish with this one though. I was asking about the most things people have gotten wrong about the case and clarifications. And that is, people need to understand that A, cases take a really long time. B, courts decide only the issues in front of them at that discrete point in time. You can't argue everything just because you showed up at a hearing. C, you need to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you often try and whittle things down little by little until the plaintiff can't really prove their claim anymore. Sounds like a strategy. D, unless the DOJ steps in, there's zero chance of RH going to jail. Just in case you need to hear that for the 1,000th time, we hope, we knock on wood, that some other dumb stuff doesn't happen. There's always a chance, but it is, to me, obviously imaginary horrible. Like, this case should never have been brought because it doesn't have any legs, let alone anything else. Which brings me to the secret weapon. Green candles, everyone. Green candles. If there are green candles, if PulseChain goes to the moon, if HEX goes to the moon, do you think anyone is going to be suing RH? Like, what are they going to sue them on? I'd say this, in Nuclear, if you're still there as well. I'd love to. I know I'm not supposed to be interviewing you right now. I'm just going to say this, and you respond to anything you want. I would love to hear if any founder, any person, anyone in any industry has ever been attacked and sued and successfully won, gotten, something filed against them, and the complainant won, when the price of the asset or whatever they're complaining against, no matter if it's a legit claim or not, was wildly appreciating. And it was clear that even if there was, some things that weren't quite legally right or whatever it was, again, I don't think there's anything like that in this case, but in general, even if there was something off or whatever, wouldn't it be laughable, like, to go into court? I wonder if anyone's ever won a judgment against someone else when the thing that they got from the person had it wildly appreciated, and there's really no reason to do it, unless, I guess, you were taking over a company or something. You know where I'm going with this. It's like, there's no reason to, right? Like, you want your refund, you want to give back the asset that's if it's went up 100x, 10x, like 1,000x, whatever you want. I really think that's the secret weapon, and I think anyone who doesn't or hasn't figured out that there is a game plan here, and that Richard has done absolutely everything to the T to make sure you have no expectations. He's got to launch the project, right? So whatever feelings you create from that, they're your own, whether they were, wherever you got it from. But I think he has done every single thing to make this not a company, to make it decentralized to a point where, we talk about centralization for price, decentralization for network. Make it where we can have the maddest of gains. We can have a great community. We can have awesome technology. We can have forks. We can have everything Ethereum has, and so on with PulseChain. We can have everything the early Bitcoin people had with HEX. All this stuff. Make sure we have that, but it be protected into the letter of the law based on the current things at the time, and that people don't get screwed. They don't get scammed. Buying the top and think something goes down is not getting scammed. That's just a judgment call, right? Every investor buys something at a certain price, and if they ever sell it, they're going to sell it at a certain price, or they're going to hold it forever. And the price go up, price go down. There's no guarantees of this stuff. So just because the price goes down after you buy it does not mean it's a scam. All that is just feelings, right? I truly believe that. And I'm glad we have the opportunity to be in an ecosystem where somebody who created it cares so much about people who make good judgment calls, who delay gratification, who like to buy bottoms and sell tops. Those people are rewarded. And I understand that a lot of people came in, they're high, they're like, oh, I love this stuff. I love the ideal of HEX. And they bought HEX at 40, 50 cents. And they're super down right now. Again, I've talked about this ad nauseum. If you would have bought the same amount at 2 cents, you get a lot cheaper. Your average price, or 1 cent, your average price is going to go down to around 2 cents, for example. There's stuff like that. You can DCA your way out of it, depending on, your investment size and otherwise. But the ability to participate in the ecosystem that has such high aspirations, that is meant to mint millionaires. Like, I don't know what else it's supposed to do. What else is HEX supposed to do? Isn't it supposed to mint millionaires? And just because it didn't do that for a couple of years because of natural market cycles, for the most part, or whatever your analysis is, a lot of it got soaked up with PulseChain, a lot of it stock splits. We go on and on. Just because it didn't do that for a period of time where some people participated, maybe a lot of people participated, it's like this ideal that it's just never going to go back up. And that's a belief, right? Like, that's not based on anything. That's just a belief. And more than likely a bear market belief, a red candle belief, right? So that's the point. To me, the point of HEX is mint millionaires. Give people a fair system to participate where they can monetize their skills. They can monetize their belief. I don't know how to describe it. They can monetize their ability to execute and delay gratification and, avoid trading. All these principles we talked about for years and years and years. And PulseChain, same deal, except it's L1. And I believe it's meant to protect HEX. It's meant to make sure HEX thrives, has a place where you don't get $500 emergency in stakes or in stakes, just in general. Forget emergency, just in stakes. And it gives us another more healthy games to play. Some other, healthy games, there can be scams. You can't stop scams from being on L1, but you can sure appreciate the ton of projects that have launched that have clearly, shout out today, RH has been shouting out ecosystem projects. Talked about Fame the other day. Leverage trading? You like leverage trading? Fame.io. You don't like it? Don't go there. Talk about liquid loans. He's mentioned like liquid loans today. Just amazing. So it's really cool to see all this stuff come together. And it's not a scam. I think it looks like a scam based on what your entry price was. But that's not like its design, right? It's not based on the code. It's not based on the community. That's just based on the emotion of buying at a certain price and watching it not double and instead go down many percent. So yeah, go back to the chat. But I think green candles, I think all the heat, what happened, right? Ain't nobody's saying anything bad about Richard when HEX is going 50 cents. It all started happening when HEX is like, it went down a lot. It went down to 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 5 cent. That's the only people had a problem with it. Otherwise, you look silly for having a problem with it, right? Oh, but you're the person who's standing up for, this is just it's going to go to zero. We got to get everyone out before it does that. That's scam feeling. That's the hard thing about HEX and RH ecosystem in general. You get that if you're not aware, if you haven't been around for a while, you're new to it, you can easily get that feeling. You can easily get the feeling of it's too good to be true. But it's not. Richard said it 1,000,000 times. I believe him. I mean, why did I start streaming? I feel like him and HEX had given me so much. I can't not give back. I don't know. It's just part of my personality. Yeah. I see something I believe in. Yep. Sorry. Spinny for a moment. I see something I believe in, and I'm compelled to help make sure it has a future. That sort of thing. All right. Let me switch it over to something more recent to Richard Hart, the king himself. Pretty cool. I didn't know that GoPulse had the protocol deal too. That must be new, or maybe I just haven't seen it. Very cool. Very cool. All right, get to chat. Sorry, I've been going to chat for a while. I had to do my monologue there. All right. Anna Trump says, hopefully Tether depegs and everything dumps except PulseChain. Part of me is like, you know what? That'd be an interesting day. The other part of me is like, I don't want the financial ruin of many people who depend on Tether, whether they should or not, to ensue. So I think PulseChain will do just fine, not financial advice, without anything happening to Tether. Cool. Yes, sorry about the case. Active close. Processes punishment or exercising the system. Not a fair world out there. Not a fair world. New World Disorder. What's up, man? If the SEC pushes through fabrication of evidence, the judge understands you should be okay. Be okay if the other way did. Yeah, that's a good point. It would be interesting to see. I mean, is there any other? Okay, yeah. So judge matters for one. The fabrications or just the inability to actually prove anything concrete that makes any sense in accordance to law. I think his motion to dismiss covers quite a few of those areas. So legally, on legal ground, it looks really good in my unlegal opinion as a unnuanced, as not an attorney, not legal advice, obviously. From what I've seen and heard in my personal feelings, it seems solid. But again, yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But the kangaroo court thing, yeah. Well, so what gives me hope there is the Coinbase case. The judge seems super pro crypto, which is an amazing surprise. I don't know. Maybe we just been in the bear market so long, we just assume everyone hates crypto. Everyone on TV gets on there and says they hate it, so we assume the judges are just gonna join the kangaroo court, that kind of thing. But no, she was extremely fair and like weirdly pro crypto. Like, I guess it shouldn't be that weird, but it was when I listened to the Coinbase hearing. Correctives 12-2B when an argument's being addressed. That'd be so good. God, if you pray, maybe you should pray for that. If you have hopes and dreams, maybe you should hope and dream about that. Oh my God, that'd be cool. If the judge, that's like a birthday that we should make that a national holiday in the community. If that day occurs where that happens, it's like, what? Am I just, imagine the bottles of champagne popping on that day, or the celebrations, and figuratively or literally, it'll be great. All right. What's up, Tron? Can you explain your alpha on how to deploy 50K in the RHMax? Not sure if I should go heavy on stake clarify. That's a great question. I'm not going to give you direct advice because I do not give advice of any sort on this channel. But I could say that, man, 50K in RH ecosystem. You got a lot of options, man. I mean, I love ladder stakes. I'm just, again, speaking, if I had 50K, what I would be looking at least. Yeah, man, I do love ladder stakes. Because the cool thing about them is you can decide when you want to get paid. So it's kind of like you're getting a paycheck each month or each 2 weeks or each quarter, like however you just set it up. And then, you have HSIs as an option as well. I always say that if I want to save myself for myself, I don't want to be tempted to get rid of it. I do native stakes. The bags I truly want to make sure I never tempted to get rid of. Again, you got to take precautions, extra security, make sure your wallet's not compromised, all that stuff too. So you can use HSIs. That's another option. I would think about in this. And you got obviously the blue chips. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the community coins that I think are interesting. I've talked about a lot of different ones on the channel. But what could you do with the blue chips? That's a question. Earn seems like it's getting closer to launch all the time. So Power City, you'll be able to mint stables from PulseX. Hopefully that'll lock up a fraction of what Liquid Loans has. Oh my God, look at that number. 1.07 trillion PLS, which is over $133 million locked up. If Earn, so Liquid Loans, if you're not familiar, you can mint stables. Again, do your own research. It's not risk-free. It's liquidations. Some of them matter more than others, all that stuff. But the point is, them being able to lock that much up, if PulseX can lock up, half of that, that would be incredible. And then you got the buy and burn for PulseX too. Oh, I'm doing Saturday or Sunday. weekend stream on PulseX, FYI. I'm sure we'll be talking some more about that as well. So you get that, and you can mint. Then you can stake it and earn their tokens and stuff as well. Again, get liquidity at a certain point if the price goes up. All these things. Just search Power City, RHMax, liquid loans. I did a recent stream with Jesse. Talked a lot about a lot of stuff too. I did a stream on retirement, like how, some ways that people can exit if we do get this monster bull run in 2024, 2025. Just search RHMax retire, something like that. 100x to retire. That's a great video to talk about. Not the opposite. Instead of deployment, the exiting. If you want to exit part of it, or however you wish, once you feel like you have matted those gains, or not, whatever. You can be Godwell. You just stake forever and just exit extremely little or none, or extremely little in comparison to what you put in the ecosystem until you if Godwell ever exits, man, we're going to need to be much bigger, which we are set up so well. We are set up for growth in so many different directions. It's amazing. And again, all these products will lock up the tokens and give you an incentive to lock them up and hold, and all this stuff are great for that. So you get the blue chips. You can get liquidity. You can mint from them. You can earn other coins. We have single sign staking in different forms. Not on PulseX yet, if it ever comes. But you got fiat. You can earn APR and stuff. I think 9inch and stuff has some staking for different coins. I think PulseX as well. You got limit orders, or if you're going to try to deploy and you want to do stables, you could use omnis.tetra.pro. I'll go to this real quick. I really like the Tetra ecosystem. Or I keep saying .pro, .run. These domains, it's hard to get right sometimes. So yeah, limit orders there, and I think 9inch has limit orders as well. But this pulls from the PulseX pools. So it's an aggregator. So it's not a DEX, it's a DEX aggregator. And I think they're adding Fox pools and otherwise as well. So drop this in the chat. In case you don't have limit orders, search RHMax limit orders. I got a lot of videos to make this super simple. Let's see. So yeah, so limit orders, if you wanted to, if you believe there'll be dips or otherwise, of course you can catch better prices. There's ratio trading and stuff to do too. So blue chips, hex ladders. Again, I won't go into ecosystem projects that I like in particular. I did plenty of content on that and tweets as well. But how to play 50K. Yeah, man. Who knows how much time we have before the prices, if and when, I have no idea, but if and when prices go exponential. So I've definitely thought about putting fresh capital in more lately than I ever have. Take that for what you will. But I feel like I'm well positioned as well. So go luck, man. Again, I talk about this stuff all the time with guests on different ways to different ecosystem projects and different ways to enter and exit and stuff like that. But that's a few things I can think of, a few different techniques. So hopefully that's helpful. I try to avoid giving direct, hey, here's exactly what I would do, because I don't like to be wrong. And I don't like to say things where people, oh, I'm going to go do that. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that or anything. I don't want to be, if something goes wrong, I don't want to, be the person. Oh, but Max said to do this. No, Max don't say to do that stuff. But hopefully that's some useful nuance from you there. What's up, Davis? Let's go. Wired said far everything should be okay. So current law. I hope so. I think I haven't heard anyone say or judge has a history of kangaroo courting or otherwise. So very good news. VinnerX, I love green candles. I do as well. Love those green candles. Hopefully they don't go away for 18 months or in a significant way. Hopefully. Basic greens and Poland, we're a strong HEX community. Thank you. Appreciate that. No problem. I appreciate having a cool community to talk to. You guys are motivating. Other people in the community are super motivating. Everyone's like, oh, what's it going to take for you to, if you'd ever, give up on the community? Well, if I look around, I'm the only one left. I think at that point I'd be like, well, not much going on, not much of a coin if there's nobody here to Nobody here to benefit from it except me, and I don't think I'm going to be providing all the liquidity. So it takes a village. Let's see. So I can get to everything. I'm going to wrap up soon, man. I went for an hour. That's a good stream. I really enjoyed talking about it. And shout out to Nuclear Herbs again for being awesome, providing some analysis to all the things we're very interested to, and for showing up today's stream, providing commentary. We appreciate that. Price appreciation wouldn't affect unregistered security claims, but I guess it'd be pretty difficult to argue fraud. Yes, that's what I would have said if I were a former attorney. Yes, the price appreciation. There's security claims, and then there's the fraud stuff. And it's like, okay, were you frauded into mad gains? Like, what are you guys talking about? But the unregistered securities, yeah, that's a different thing. So at least some of the allegations. I don't want to say charges. Charges sounds like it's not really, nobody knows. Everyone gets all the civil and criminal stuff mixed up and all that. Civil case from the SEC for $12 million, which is really, it's like billions of dollars in sacrifice. Oh, well, we can get 12 million. Should be a home run. Like, didn't do anything wrong, man. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I guess I'm thankful that it wasn't some crazy number too. Anyways, yeah. So hopefully, Tron, there's some people in the chat talking too that may provide some more commentary to this. But I try not to give anything that looks like I'm telling you what to do, because I'm not here to be that kind of influencer. And a lot of people don't mind. I want to be I want to have a unique ability to not get people wrecked. It's a rare thing to try and do. I know. Not easy. I'd love to be up here. Guys, I think PulseChain is going to the moon. Tell you all my price predictions, all that stuff. It's just not my style. I can be that. There's plenty of people who do that. I'm going to try to provide value in the ways that people aren't doing as much. Fox Modern. Judge watching Crypto Explain channel to get speed. Yes, I think anyone who watches Explain's channel on our ecosystem stuff is going to learn a lot for sure. Speaking of that, I'll just plug some new stuff. I just tweeted about it too on Go Real DeFi. More stuff. A couple minor changes, nothing big. But I added the validators link to the Learn and Earn. So if you click here, it'll take you and show you how to become a validator. Takes you through the process, the code, the script, make sure you're ready, video, all that stuff. So gorealdefi.com. Add the validators here. And then Learn to Earn. So again, there's bio links for the blue chips here. And if you want to buy ink, if you consider ink a blue chip, which maybe, then of course you can buy that with you got to be on PulseChain and all this stuff. I don't think there's going to be one day. Is there going to be a direct buy button for ink? You never know. People. I mean, nothing wrong with ink. I'm just, it's just we didn't sacrifice for ink, right? Which is interesting and affects its market cap. Market cap looks way different than the other ones. I'll say that, which some people may like. They may be more attracted to, and the fact that you can earn it through. Talk about ink a lot. Search RHMax ink. Got a ton of content on it. Let's see. So yeah, onboarding for PulseChain. Click on Learn to Earn, and then PulseChain. And it's got the playlist. I just added some more videos in this as well recently from clips and stuff. But yeah, pretty much everything you want to do in PulseChain, the basics, got you covered. How to run the bridge on your local, how to go real DeFi, MetaMask, everything. Anyone's new to crypto and they can use a computer, yeah, they're going to have, this is going to give them a chance. I think they know anything about crypto and how to use wallets, and they're into it at all. So check that out. We just made a couple changes there. And again, when you come here, click verify hash. If you want to verify for yourself the security of using the site. I had to update the script as well because I added a little bit of comments slight change there. So look for status OK. That means you are using the official apps if this says OK. Ton of video on security if anyone's interested in that. Don't think anyone is, but I went above and beyond to make this thing good. Let's see, where are we at? Just going to scroll through to. You guys are funny. Finbear, great stream. As you're live, how long already? Oh, you thought this was a recording? Oh yeah, I was live. Appreciate that, Finbear. All right, everyone. I think I'm gonna call it up. Oh, so Nuclear Herbs. Thank you, man. Really appreciate you. Shout out Nuclear Herbs again. True asset to the community, inspirational to me, and I imagine many other people. Well, want to provide value. You want to give back. Do you feel like HEX and PulseChain have given you something already? Or Richard has, helped you or otherwise? A lot of ways to do that. If you have a profession that is relevant to the community or you want to make relevant, those former attorneys aren't growing on trees that love this ecosystem. So we're super glad to have one who can come provide commentary and analysis to make people to beat down the FUD. Say that. All right. Again, I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate you all. That made sense. Again, secret weapon, if price goes up, even Nuclear Herbs talked about that can make the fraud claims laughable in a lot of ways. Again, I'm sure there's always gonna be somebody who doesn't like it, or no matter what this happens, or they bought too high and it's down now or whatever. But again, if you got an ecosystem of people who are super rich and not complaining, seems like a better spot. And that's what we hope we're going to get this cycle. I certainly hope so. Cannot guarantee. I do not have expectations, but boy, those green candles feel good. They feel really good. So that's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.